Crack cocaine had became really big and it was easy to make money. Everybody was trying it. I started seeing the fancy things that money can buy. And before you know it, I'm in junior high, 7th grade. I was pretty much the El Chapo of the crack cocaine era back then. My name is Marcel Garcia, and this is my story. All my friends that were already involved in gang activity were always older than me, 12, 13, 14 years old. And I pretty much liked that lifestyle. I started to focus on, I wanted to be a gangster. I liked that image, Mind you, my brother and all my cousins were already from the neighborhood. We're always in and out of prison, always in and out of jail. And our house in the east side was pretty much considered like it was like the base of the neighborhood. Everybody went there. Everybody knew my mother. That was like headquarters of the neighborhood. You could get anything at that house. You could buy drugs at that house. You could get a gun at the house. Crack cocaine had became really big and it was easy to make money. Everybody was trying it, and a friend of mine was already selling drugs. I started seeing the fancy things that money can buy, always had the new car, new clothes, just what came with that, So then I started liking that. So I wanted a piece of that. I started making money, and before you know it, I'm in junior high, 7th grade. I already have a car. I already have brand new clothes. I was pretty much the El Chapo of the crack cocaine era back then. It was kind of like I'm a young kid selling drugs, have everything I wouldn't have to ask nobody for money. I could buy anything I wanted. I remember I was always having different clothes, new clothes, buying cars. So I would always have to park the car down the street because my mom would, I couldn't park the car in my house because my mom would always be like, well, where are you getting this at? You're not working, you're only 10, 11 years old. What's wrong with you, So I started making a bunch of money to where it was like, I was having to hide the money everywhere, in my attic, in the garage, underneath my mattress. Somebody had told my mom that I was selling drugs because I ended up selling drugs to an uncle of mine, and he pretty much told my aunt, and my aunt told my mom that I had sold him some crack cocaine. She was really upset. She was really hurt by the decision that I was making. My goal was to keep on pursuing what I was doing and keep on making money. I just told my mom, you know what? This is my life. This is what I want to do. You cannot tell me what to do because I'm gonna do it anyway. People I was selling crack to was older people. There was people in their 30s, 20s, and 30s. People that I never thought would smoke crack cocaine. People that I've known as a child. A father, a uncle, my friend's dad. It was just, everybody was, it just seemed like everybody was hypnotized by crack cocaine. Everybody was smoking crack. Everybody. It was like drinking a soda. Everybody's drinking sodas. We used to hang out in the area, and it was like a 3-block radius where it was just known for buying crack cocaine. It was like a drive-through. You could just drive down the street. People come to your car, go to your window, what you need, what you want, money exchange, and they keep going. It's like a drive-through. I sold to an undercover and I got busted. And the way I got busted was because when I sold to the undercover, about 2 minutes later, they raided the area and I had a marked $100 bill. It had a certain mark on it, and that's how it was marked by the cops. I went to juvenile hall. I loved the whole juvenile hall, being in jail. I love that whole atmosphere. I felt like I was somebody coming out of jail with the respect as, wow, hey, he just got out of jail. And it kind of felt like I had respect, but at the same token, I didn't. I always hung out with older folks. And Martin was always in my life. Martin was there, when I was in junior high. Martin was always at my house. This was a man that was always in my life, and everybody knew us. So at that moment, we're making good money. Martin has his little dope hustle on the side, and so do I. So we're pretty much living in hotels. I lived in a hotel for years. Just, I would rent a hotel for a month. Then I'll rent another hotel for another month, and we're just floating around everywhere. My first son, Marcel, he was born, and he was born in 1990. I was happy that I was a dad, but at the same token, I felt like I was a failure, that I wasn't the kind of dad a kid needs. And I used to say, man, God, I know you have something more I know you have something better for me. Please, just allow me to see my son turn 5 years old. I just want to be able to see him turn 5 years old. In 1994, I got busted. That's when my son Richard was born. And when I got busted, I went to jail for about a year. And in that year time, I pretty much lost everything. I pretty much lost the little bit that I had left when I got busted. I went to jail, I came out, and when I came out of jail, I came out with nothing. I came out with just pretty much the clothes on my back. When I came back out, I thought I could still leave. I could still start where I left off at, and it just didn't work that way. All my clientele was already gone. They already had left already. They already had got busted, and I'm pretty much kind of like I had to start from scratch. I ended up getting a job for $7.50. I got a job, and the company I worked for was on the 57 and the 91 freeway. And I lived all the way in Wilmington, and it hurt to drive all the way over there for $7.50. I could not believe it. My friend Martin that I ran the streets with, he got saved, if I am not mistaken, he got saved like around in 2000, 2001, I'm gonna say around there. And when he got saved, we kind of lost contact for a minute because I was pretty much a little bit upset at him. So we kind of went a few years without even talking to each other, but you know what, he would always come by and go to my mom's house and tell my mom, hey, you know what, hey, how's Marcel? He would always ask for me because he was focused on trying to lead me to salvation. And at that moment, I really didn't want to, I just did not want to, I didn't want no part of that. 2004, my brother got out of prison and my brother was sick. My brother had HIV and he got really sick and he died. And when he died, Martin came to my house. Him and my brother actually were really close also because Martin was a part of my life, you know. He embraced me with love and he told me that pretty much everything's gonna be okay, Marcel, God got this. And he says, hey buddy, you wanna go to church? And I was like, sure. I said, yes, I'll go to church with you. I felt the presence of God there. I felt people were different, people were loving, people were caring. I was in the service and they did an altar call. And I responded to the altar call. Without hesitation, I just responded. I knew I needed something at that moment. I knew I needed salvation, and I accepted the Lord that day. That day was a new day of a new life for me. I was coming out of a 8-year relationship that was toxic. I met Becca. We met and we were just friends for a while, and you know, we started hanging out. And I remember my mom telling me, pretty much, Marcel, out of all the women you've ever been with, Becca she's true. She's a true woman. She's the woman for you, son. Take my advice. You know, moms know everything. Moms can see things that we can't see. And she gave me her blessing. And she goes, you know what? She's the one. And we ended up getting married. And a couple months later, after we got married, you know, we hit some bumps in the road it got really, really bad to where, you know, we felt that we were just going to get divorced. We needed a complete 100% transformation from the Lord on our marriage. God had his hand of protection upon our marriage, and he restored it. It took a lot of prayer, a lot of times when I had to call Pastor Omar for counseling, Sister Letty, we would call them up. I had their number on speed dial. I mean, they were always there for us, and you know what, and other friends in the church, and they pretty much helped us to get where we're at right now. And you know, and we just started forming a family. We had a intermixed family. We just started letting the Lord just have protection over our home and for our marriage. We became part of the usher team at church. We're on the ushers team. You know, now my wife works in the kitchen. I am an usher. I never thought in a million years I would even get to this point, a part of my life, but I'm a Connect group leader now, me and my wife. God is using us to reach the lost, and we're just on fire for the Lord, and we're just pushing forward and seeing what God has for us. You know, it gets to the point where a person gets tired of being tired. Some people want change, some people do not want change. But one thing I could say truly is, when you put your trust in the Lord, when you put your trust in the Lord and you put God first on everything, he will restore your life. He will take away anything, any desires, any addictions. If you're hurt inside from just past hurt and pain, he will heal your heart. God is God. God is sovereign. He's an awesome God. He's a caring God. He's a lovable God. It takes courage and it takes a lot of patience. God just don't work overnight. Sometimes it takes time for God to work. But it's a proven fact that if you stay faithful, you stay in His Word, and you stay consistent, God will restore your life.